Hello everyone, it is Isaac here, um, and to be honest, I'm a little bit stunned for words. We've lost to Forrest on the last game of 2023. There's a lot to unpack in that game. Forrest deserved the win. I'm not going to sit here and say that we deserve the win in any way because it's just not true. I'm just going to check the audios on it in 2 seconds. I know this streamlabs can be a bit finicky. There's a lot to unpack. Just switch to the other one. That game.
Is that any better? We'll see.
There's a lot to unpack. Just switch to the other one. That game.
Is that any better? Yeah, we sound alright in that way. We sound alright. I meant to be reacting during the game. I could have done a match reaction. But I was watching it in the living room, so I'm just going to do a bit of a post-match analysis and talk about what massively went wrong. Yeah, it's tough to see what exactly went wrong other than just there was no passion from the team, there was no desire to win it, there was no quality in the final ball. We really struggled to stop Forrest getting forward. You know, this is a team that are fighting relegation. There's a table there. They're low in the league there. We're just they're 15th, so they're doing okay. They could slip down if Brentford win tomorrow to 16th, so they're in and around the relegation zone. I'm baffled to how we've lost that because this is a team. We've just come off the back of a very good win against Villa. We didn't play fantastically well, but we got the win. I thought, first half we were okay. Second half we were even better, and we managed to get the 3 points. But it's like I was saying when I was watching the game. Man United not top 8 this season. If we continue to play like this, 100% will not get Europe this season. I'm 100% sure that we will have a very quiet fixture list next season of just Prem, a couple of cup games now and again. But no, if we continue to play like this, not a chance we'll be in any European competitions, not even Conference League, and that's pushing it. But yeah, what went wrong today? Just a lack of desire really was the main thing, but just lack of quality, lack of just everything. And I know we've had injuries. This is our 10th partnership at centre back we've seen this season. We're playing with Dallow at left back and Rashford at striker, and we're having to put so much pressure on Kobe Mainu, and I get that, and we do have a lot of injuries. But a completely free injury team, you're going to play Onana in goal. It's going to be the Wan-Bissaka or Dallow. So they're both playing today. Yes, Dallow's out of position, but he's still on the pitch. You'd probably have Shaw at left back. You'd have Varane and Martinez. Kobe Mainu would not be playing if Casemiro was available. He just wouldn't, because it'd be Casemiro and Amrabat, or Casemiro and Ericsson, Casemiro and Mount, just because of the experience. You can't put too much pressure on this 18-year-old lad. He's good, but he's not good enough to be playing every game. So you'd be playing Bruno, obviously. I'd argue you'd be playing Garnacho over Rashford, because Garnacho's just had a better season. You'd be playing Højlund down the middle, who's not here because of flu. And you'd be playing probably Anthony on the right, who's not good enough, but you probably would. I'd probably put Rashford out on the right, but Eric Ten Hag doesn't want to seem to do it. So you've got half 6 or 7 of that team would be playing if the full team were there. Martinez, when he comes back, he's going to make a difference because we're going to be defend. Evans has been good, but he's not Martinez. Casemiro, when he comes back, if he can stay fit and suspension free, is more reliable and more experienced than Kobe Manu. Kobe Manu is unbelievable, but just in terms of the experience that Casemiro brings you until the end of this season, because you've got to think we've got to manage Manu well as well, like we did with Daniel Angama. We didn't manage him well enough, and he got burnt out. The same will happen with Kobe Manu. So we've got to manage him well. Eriksen probably won't play. Mount will play when he comes back. Garnacho will play. Rashford might not play, or he'll play out on the right, or Garnacho on the right and Rashford on the left, and Højlund will play down the middle. I don't see many difference makers there, and it just baffles me because we've spent so much money and just nothing is coming out of this. You know, and just I can't think of the answer isn't always keep on buying players. That's what Chelsea have done, and it's not working because you buy all these players and it just makes it worse. It's a catalyst of errors. So Onana, he's not good enough, but I'd keep him. I think he will come good, so I'd probably keep him. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. I love Diogo Dalot. He's one of my favourite United players just because of his pure passion, but do I think either of them are good enough or title-winning fullbacks? No. Rafa Varane, too injury prone, seems to have had a falling out with the manager. So is he going to be here much longer? I think he'll stay the year, but will he pass the summer? I don't know. Johnny Evans shouldn't be playing for us. He's been really good, but he's not a quality. He's not title winning. He does a job, but not a good enough job. Luke Shaw at left back, good enough. Martinez, good enough. So that's two players, maybe three if you include Onana. So there you at least need a quality right back and another centre back. And probably another centre back up because I don't see Maguire staying, I don't see Lindelof staying, and I can see Johnny Evans either retiring or not being offered an extension or just never playing unless an injury. Kobe Manu will stay, but I think you'd need to make the Amrabat deal permanent. Get rid of McTominay so you sign another box-to-box midfielder to sit alongside him should Mount get injured, should Eriksen get injured. Eriksen you probably keep just because he's always a good option. You keep him. Bruno you keep, but I think, well, you've got Mount's expendable, can go out on the right like Bruno can, so you probably don't need to sign a number 10, it's not a priority. Left wing, Garnacho and Rashford, you've got enough cover there. Plus you've got Amad Diallo, and Kobe needs to leave. Shut up, Kobe does not need to leave. Kobe Manu will be at United for a long old time. He will continue to play. You know, Casemiro will leave in the summer, if not January. To a Saudi team or a go back La Liga somewhere. He will leave this summer, and Kobe Manu will be the future of Manchester United in terms of midfield because Sofian Amrabat is good, but either Fiorentina don't let him have on a permanent, we can't afford him, or just, you know, no big players come through Man United anymore. You've got probably the most informed player last season apart from Haaland and Salah last season. You've got Garnacho who's doing unreal this season, Kobe Manu who will be unreal, Anthony Elanga who's doing absolute bits at Forest. You've got Johnny Evans who at 36 is doing really well for his age in the Prem. No big players come through Man United is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Willy Kambwala played really well against West Ham. Neither of the goals were his fault, and he kept Jared Bowen really quiet. It was Kobe Manu and Evans' fault that he scored. Garnacho is probably the best thing to come out of United since Wayne Rooney. He's the most talented player we've had in a long, long time. And the fact that he's holding down this position off of Rashford at 19 years old is ridiculous. I know Elanga left, but he still came through the Man United Academy. Angel Gomez, there's another one. Unreal. Hannibal Mejbri, Tahith Chong, all really talented players that aren't good enough for United, but are still good. Tahith Chong's doing really well at Luton. Hannibal Mejbri's, the jury's still out on that one. Angel Gomez doing well in League One. The players that are doing really well. Man United's got one of the best academies in the world. Maybe apart from Barcelona and Real, it's got the best academies in the world, and I don't think you can argue that. Anyway, back onto the point at hand. You need at least 4 signings next summer, but that can't be always the answer of just buy more players. It's something we can do, something of course we can afford with Sir Jim coming in. You buy those 4 players, it's definitely doable, but you've also got to look at who you sell. For their own sake, they need to leave Man United past the academy. Kobe Mainoo is not ass. If you're seriously going to sit there and say Kobe Mainoo is ass, you don't know what you're talking about. If you're going to sit there and say Garnacho is ass, you don't know what you're talking about. You sit there and watch YouTube highlights instead of watching them every week in, week out. You watch clips of them failing and doing bad things. You don't sit and watch them every week. You look at FOTMob ratings and don't watch them every week. Garnacho is not ass. Mainoo is not ass. Rashford this season has been ass, but last season he was not. Luke Shaw came to us at a very young age, academy, but did play some youth level games when he first joined us. Anthony Elanga, you even sit there sometimes when we chat and say he's unreal and we shouldn't have let him go. We ever played him and that was our fault and we shouldn't let him go. So to sit there and say he's ass, he's I don't know where you're pulling that from. But anyway, you need to let some players go if we're going to keep on buying. Varane's got to go, Maguire's got to go, Lindelof's got to go, McTominay's got to go, Anthony's got to go. We need a full squad clear out. And it's not something that's going to come easily. A full squad clear out's going to take a few seasons. And it's as well to people, it's just such a shambles, this club. Because nobody's going to take Maguire because he's quite happy on his 250 grand a week for the next 2 years to not play. He's been alright so far this season by his standards. He's not been, Liverpool Van Dijk levels, but he's done an okay job against some teams. Played well, obviously, but that was just because of comparison to his standards. I'd argue Bruno's got to go. That breaks my heart to say because he's right behind me, the shirt, but his attitude is not right. Another thing I'll point out is I don't think Bruno's a captain, but I look at that pitch and I don't think there is a captain. The only one I would maybe say is Johnny Evans. But once, Martinez is back, Maguire's back and Lindelof is back, Evans ain't going to get a look in. Evans was always supposed to be the 5th choice centre-back and he is only playing this amount of games because of injuries, because we have nobody else. That's the only reason Evans is playing. So once everybody's back in January, February, he's not going to play. Once Shaw's back, either Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, he's not going to play. I think he'll prefer Dalot just because that's what he wants more for his system. He wants a more attacking fullback. Wan-Bissaka's not going to play. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I can sit here and say, we need players and all this, but you look at Forrest, they did buy a lot of players last season. But they didn't particularly go mad this season. I don't think they brought in Matt Turner and Anthony Elanga and Montiel, but they've kept sort of a core group of players that play every week. And you look at some of the other results we've had. Let me just go in here. I'll just where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Let me switch to reaction gameplay. We go on. So Man United. We look at our fixtures here. West Ham. They very nearly lost their best player in Paqueta, other than Rice. They bought Kudus and Ward-Prowse in, and that Mavropanos. Other than that, they haven't gone ridiculously bad. I mean, you do look at that side and you do see a lot of injuries and replacements there, and I do think that's going against us a little bit, the injuries, but you can't put everything down to that. We've got, this squad, maybe apart from Kambwala, has got a lot of experience behind it and shouldn't be losing 2-0 to West Ham. West Ham are a good side, but, not my point. This Villa result, we got the 3 points and we were impressive second half and we did really well to come back. But Manchester United are a team that shouldn't have to be scrambling for results and pulling, last minute winners from 82nd minute goals from Rasmus Højlund out of the bag to win a game. Højlund should be scoring, that's not what I'm trying to say, but it shouldn't be, from 2-0 down coming back to win. If it's one goal, that's different, but, this is not the first time it's happened. I mean, it nearly happened again today. We nearly came from a goal behind, but then we did why am I in Aston Villa here? Not Man United. It happened, it could have happened today, Liverpool were defending, we seemed to have the habit of going 1 or 2-0 up or taking the lead and then throwing it away a few minutes later. Liverpool, we did really well in that game. Bayern, we gave up. Bayern were quite happy just to sit back and counter-attack us, and that's what they did. Bournemouth was an absolute shambles. Chelsea, we had to recover. We had to hope Scott McTominay could run late into the box. Newcastle, we lost. Galatasaray, we threw away. Man United, and I said this as well, has been honestly the only convincing result, or win I should say, that I've seen us play all season. And we're 20 Prem games in, 6 Champions League, 1 Carabao Cup, so we're 20, nearly 30 games in, and I've seen 1 convincing result by my football club. I'll go back here. Luton was not convincing. Copenhagen we threw away. Fulham, I can't remember that game. Was that, who scored there? Bruno. Oh, it was the really late goal again, wasn't it? Yeah. 90 plus 1. Not a convincing win. We really struggled to get anything out of that. Oh Jesus, I hate the FotMob, the app on my phone is fantastic, but FotMob, the website, is not the one. Why am I back here? Fulham. Back again. Newcastle we lost. City we lost. Copenhagen. Was that the one where he saved a penalty in the last minute, I seem to think? Yeah? Yeah, that's the one where we saved a penalty, where Maguire scored the only goal. Not a convincing win. City we lost. Sheffield United, it came down to that Diogo Dalot wonder goal. Brentford, we came from behind. Galatasaray we lost. Palace we lost. Palace in the cup, we played alright. But again, did I watch? I must have watched that game. Garnacho, Casemiro. Yeah, we played well this game. In the cup, we played alright, but then obviously we got knocked out in the next round. So, alright, 2 games in 30. I take it all back. Manchester United are winning the league. Burnley, not good enough. Brighton, we lost. Arsenal, we lost. Maybe deserved to draw out of that game, but we threw it away in the last couple of minutes. Forrest, not convincing at all. Again, we came back from 2 goals down. Tottenham, we lost. Wolves was really shaky. Should have conceded a penalty later. So to have 2 games where we've won, and it's been a convincing result, I just don't get it. I mean, we're picking up points from bad positions. So, you know, the Forest game was a good game in terms of we showed a lot of fight to get back, but we never should have been 2-0 down. Arsenal, never should have been 3-1 down. I'd take a 2-1, but that last Rice goal was literally because we were doing everything to get the equaliser and they caught us on the break. Brighton should have been 3-0. Wonder goal by Mesbury to get a consolation goal. Bayern 4-3. Rasmus's first couple of goals. But again, we showed some fight to get back to 3-3, but then again we threw it away. Or 4-2, 3-2, and then they threw away the 4th one, and we were never going to come back from that. Burnley took a moment of brilliance from Evans, who shouldn't even be playing. He's good, but he shouldn't be playing. He's not Man United level quality. It took a moment of brilliance to score. Palace, we played well, but it was really a lot of difference. We then played Palace in the league and lost that out at home 4 days later. Galatasaray, we threw that away. I think we went 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3. Casemiro. I remember that game, yeah, because Onana passed the ball out from the back. Oh, take me home. I don't know where I'm going here. Yeah. Galatasaray we threw a Brentford, came from behind. Sheffield United, moment of brilliance. Copenhagen, smash and grab. City we lost. Newcastle we lost. I've missed a page there, haven't I? Yeah. Fulham we beat, but only just. Copenhagen we threw away. Luton we beat, only just. We convincingly beat Everton, but they could have. I'm saying this, but they could have scored in that game with better finishing and better morale. They could have easily scored in that game and taken something off us. Galatasaray we threw it away. Newcastle we lost. Chelsea we nearly threw it away. Bournemouth we embarrassing. Bayern embarrassing. Liverpool, we did well to get a point. That's all we were going for in that game, was a point, or just not 7-0 again. West Ham we threw away. Villa we did well to come back, but we should never have been 2-0 down. Onana should have saved that first shot from John McGinn. The second goal, not much you can do about it. Was just not much Onana could do. Maybe just pick up Langley on the back post, but maybe I might be being a little bit harsh there. That's a fair goal to concede. They did really well, but it's the first goal they should be saving. And Forrest and United today was just my ratings. Onana, not much he can do about the second. Really, he got really close. It was Witt's first goal. I don't think he could have got to because he's maybe a little bit unsighted, but he always knew that's where they'd be shooting. So at least dive for it. Don't just stand there and watch it go in. Wan-Bissaka I thought was alright. Not much came down the left hand side that I remember. The 2 goals came on the right hand side of their attacks, so down our left, and we're really down to McTominay not picking up his runner. So yeah, Wan-Bissaka probably say 6.5. Varane, he was playing Montiel I think on side for the first goal. Or he was playing somebody on side for the first goal. I can't remember who it was. If he'd have stepped up in line with the rest of the defence, it would have been offside. So maybe McTominay, who came on, could have been a little bit better at covering his man. Some of it does fall around. Johnny Evans I thought was alright. Not much he could have done. He did step away for the first goal, but he was in line with the line, so he was doing what he thought was right. I'd probably say 6.5. Dalot, out of position. First goal comes down his side, second goal comes down his side, he doesn't close him long enough. McTominay goes out to help him for both goals and then he's out of position. So you could maybe put a little blame on him just not being strong enough, but I think I'm being harsh because he is out of position. Ericsson I thought didn't really do much, so 6. Mainu, I don't know why he came off at half time. I thought he was doing really well. I thought he was completely nullifying everything that Forrest were throwing at us towards him. I thought he was keeping him really quiet. And then to bring on McTominay, loses his runners twice, leading to their goals. It was his runner for the first goal in Dominguez, and it was his runner for the second goal in Gibbs White, and he just didn't pick him up twice. But yet we're bringing him on because he might score a late goal. When we've got one of the most up-and-coming youngsters in the midfield area, he's proving everybody wrong that he's not ready for this level. Yes, I do agree that we shouldn't be playing him, but there's a needs must at the minute with United. We haven't got Casemiro. Amrabat seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth. So Mainu is having to do a job, and he's doing it really well. So for a little bit, until one of them comes back, and Mainu's going to have to play. Anthony did fuck all yet again. 6. Bruno was really whingy, constantly moaning about stuff and just didn't really do much. Played a couple of nice balls but never really made anything out of them, and as soon as the game wasn't going our way he just gave up, I think. Garnacho played really well. I thought he was going to be really selfish with that with our goal. Did really well to get the ball off Matt Turner, who was really 50-50 for that game, really, wasn't he? He got the assists, or the pre-assist to. He got the ball out to Alanga for Gibbs White, yeah, that was it. Or he got the ball out for Montiel. He played a really lovely long ball down the pitch. Rashford was okay. He got the goal, but I give a lot more of that goal to Garnacho than I do to Rashford. He did well to get the space, to be fair to him, but Garnacho wasn't selfish and really found him in that position. Rashford wasn't making any attempt to make a run. He just sort of stood and hoped that Garnacho would spot him. Ten Hag, don't know why you brought McTominay on. He did absolutely nothing, and he gave us nothing going forward. I think you should have brought Reguilon. I think you should have played Reguilon from the start, to be honest. And either Dalot or you pick a right back. I don't understand. We brought Reguilon in for cover on left back because we have nobody else. But yet you're still playing 2 right backs, one out of position, and you're wondering why he's not looking stable out on that side. So I think you've got to start Reguilon on that left hand side and pick a right back. You know, if you want to go attacking, you go with Dallo. If you know that if you know that Dominguez is going to cause trouble, you go with Wan-Bissaka. Dallo and Anthony have got a good relationship on this right hand side. So if you want good link-up play, you go with Dallo. If you want pure defensiveness, you go with Wan-Bissaka. Amad Diallo I thought looked really good. Should have scored. Should have got an assist. Bruno jumped over a lovely ball that played him in, hoping there was someone behind, and that's what led to the counter attack that's what led to them having a good attack that they nearly scored with. The one they did score with, I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, it's a tough one to take massively, because we weren't good enough from anything really. We didn't look comfortable on the ball at any point. We didn't look stable on the ball. We didn't look comfortable. There was no desire either, was the main thing. You know, there was no passion. There was no togetherness. Someone asked in the build up to Bruno, I think, saying, you know, was the result on Saturday? Oh no, yeah, Tuesday. A sign of things to come, and he said no. You know, we've had this before. We had it in the game against Chelsea, in the Luton result, in the Sheffield United result. People asking, Man United can kick off from here. He even asked it in the post-match interview with Rasmus and Garnacho against Villa of, is this a point where we can turn it around? And it could have been, but it's not. Because we always know this season it could be, we could win a game 7-0 and then the next game against, you know, we could beat Arsenal or someone 3-0 and then in the next game against Sheffield United or Luton, we could lose 2-0. Luton away we could easily lose. I think we will if we continue playing like this. There's stuff that needs to happen in the January window. I think you've got to get another centre back in at least and another midfielder at least. I think it'll be interesting to see when Onana goes, how Binde's going to do. Because if Binde performs well, I don't think he'll be dropped for Onana when I think Onana will get his place back when he returns. But it'll be interesting to see how if Binde does well and then Onana does well. There's got to be a conversation there. Do you continue to play Binde or do you stick with your guns and go Onana? Yeah, it's disappointing because, you know, Forrest weren't that good tonight. They were better than us, 100%. But the first half they didn't look clinical enough. That I can maybe think of one or two other chances they had, where they could have finished it, or put it beyond doubt, or opened the scoring a little bit earlier. That Rashford chance, and I can't. I'm trying to think of any other concrete chances we had where I thought we were nearly in. That Bruno thing where he jumped over the ball. I can't think of any others, and that's just the pity of we're not making enough chances. We're not finishing our chances when they do come our way. We're not clinical enough. We're not creative enough. We're not strong enough. We're not passionate enough. We're not determined enough. We're just not enough. And I think we do have the players to do it. Anthony could be passionate enough. Garnacho is. Kobe Mainoo is. Shaw. In terms of what we've got who could go to the next level, Martinez is when he's fit. Garnacho, Anthony maybe. Kobe Mainoo, Bruno, Shaw. That's about it. Dallo maybe. Dallo does have enough passion, but he's just not good enough. I love him to pieces, and he's my favourite United player, but he's not good enough to win the title, and that's what Man United have got to be aiming for. What am I trying to say? But yeah. Oh yeah. We don't have the players be able to take that next step, and or not the right. That's not what I mean. We don't have the right mentality, and I think some of the blame does have to go on Ten Hag. We saw last season after that embarrassment against Brentford where we lost 4-0, he made them do a 10k run or something, and that really spurred us on, and we did well after that point. We still got embarrassed in some games, but that was the turning point in our season after those first two games, 2-1 loss to Brighton and then 4-0 loss to Brentford. We turned it around after those two games. And something needs to happen similar. Don't make them go on a run again, because they did run a lot more than us. I wonder if that's something you can see on FotMob here. Be interested to see, but surely there's something here you can see. No, I can't, but I can guarantee they ran a lot more than us. I mean, let's have a look here at. It was 46 to 54% possessions. They had about the same as us. They had 80 less passes, but about the same pass completion percentage. They committed less fouls, had less offsides. We had 5 shots on target to their 2, so there must have been some other shots on target. I can't remember, but there were none that were, worthy of a get out your seat moment, edge of your seat, and that's just the point. Man United. Maybe against Villa when we made it 2-2, we just haven't had enough of edge of the seat moments this season, and these comebacks maybe, but that's what football's all about really. I suppose at the end of the day, we've got to pick up points, yes, that's got to be the main motive, to pick up points, to win trophies, to get further in competitions, yes, but we've got to start putting in good performances, because we will only get points when we start putting in good performances. And the result against Forrest, from an attacking standpoint, was an unreal performance, but from a defensive standpoint, in terms of the back 5, Onana lets it really down, because he should be saving that goal. The City results, the Newcastle results, the Bayern results, the Copenhagen results, all the goals are letting the team down because we're not putting in good enough defensive performances. And it's just the passion side of things. It's the passion and the determination to do things for a long amount of time. We just don't have it. So yeah, what do I think of the next game? Our next game is, I want to say Luton, but I might be wrong. Wigan in the cup, and then Tottenham away. Wigan away in the cup, which I think we'll win. I think we'll see the likes of Amad Diallo in that game. Reguilon will start. I think I think you do throw Bayindir in for that one. He's going to have a lot on his shoulders these next couple of games. Onana will be there, I think. I think he goes on the 15th, so that's about a week before he goes to AFCON. Unless he's already gone. But I think you do throw Bayindir in for that game, just to test the waters, just to see how he's going to get on, because Spurs is a big game. You don't want his first game of the season to be a Prem game at home to Spurs, because he'll get absolutely bummed. Wigan away, I think we'll win. You'll see a changed team. Spurs at home, I think we'll lose. Wolves away, I think we'll lose. West Ham at home, I think we'll probably win. Villa away, we'll lose. Luton away, we'll lose or draw. City away, we'll draw. Fulham at home, we'll win. Maybe. Everton at home, I think we should get a result. Sheffield United at home, we could get a result. So that's 2 results that are definitely gettable, but not guaranteed. Brentford away, I think we'll lose. Chelsea away, I think we'll win. Liverpool at home, could go either way. I don't think we'll win it. We draw or loss. Bournemouth away, we'll not do well. Newcastle at home, they'll beat us. Burnley at home, we should win that one. Palace away, we could get a result there. Arsenal at home, not going to win. And then Brighton away, I think we'll lose. So there's maybe 6 or 7 games I think we could get a result there, and that's just not good enough. And yeah, there'll be no Europe for us next season, and that's really sad as a United fan. We worked so hard to get back into the Champions League last season. We won a cup and we got back to the Champions League, and I genuinely thought, okay, we've got something here. We're nowhere near a title. No, we're nowhere near winning the Champions League, but we're at a point now where we've got a manager that's got the right culture, we've got a right standard of player, in each position to be able to do what we want to do. There's still players that need to come in, hence why we bought Højlund, because Martial's not good enough. Garnacho's now playing more because Rashford's not been good enough. We brought in defensive midfielders because Casemiro wasn't available enough last season. We brought in Mount just to give us something different. Eriksen's getting older, we need a younger Eriksen. Who else did we brought in? 2 keepers because David left, Tom Heaton's not reliable enough. And Jack Butland went back to Palace or wherever Jack Butland is now. And we just... I thought we could win a trophy again this season. I think it would be a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. I thought we could have done. We still can, but it's not... I don't think... I mean, physically we can win a cup, FA Cup this year, but I think we're going to. I thought we could win something again this season, or at least get to another final, stay in the Champions League for 2 years, which is something we've really struggled to do for quite a while, to successfully stay in the Champions League season after season. To do it 2 years in a row for United would be a massive stepping stone, and we're not going to do it. We won't be in any Europe this season unless something drastically changes, and I don't know what that change is going to be, because we don't have the changing off. You know, it's okay having Shaw and Martinez back. That fixes your defence a little bit. You then hope for Rand stays injury free and you stick with a permanent right back. Okay. Casemiro comes back. Is Casemiro going to have had another massive decline in form from last season? We saw this start to this season. He was massively. He was a lot bigger than he wanted to be, or was asked of him when he came back, which massively hindered him. Is he going to be able to stay match fit? Is he going to be able to stay suspension free? Who then do you put alongside him? Do you put Kobbie Mainoo alongside him and go with a double pivot? Do you put McTominay alongside him and keep playing the way you're doing with a long ball, which I really hope we don't do? Do you put Eriksen alongside him and have Eriksen as the deep line playmaker and allow Bruno to float up high? Do you put Mount next to him and play with 2 10s and leave Casemiro as on his own? Do you not even play Casemiro? Do you play Amrabat? Do you play Mainoo as that 6 and then have an 8 and a 10 or 2 10s? I'd play Garnacho off the left, off the right. I don't think Antony's good enough. I don't think Rashford's good enough. I don't think Palestri's good enough. I don't think Diallo's good enough yet. I think you've got to give Diallo a run in the team. We've seen how well it's done with Garnacho giving him a run in the team, and I thought Diallo played all right tonight for the 40 minutes he had on the pitch, 35 minutes. Well, it ended up being 45 minutes with the added 10, didn't it? But and then you have Højlund down the middle, but I think you've got to bring in a more experienced striker. It's been what United have done of bringing only experienced strikers, but now we've got Højlund. You bring in that experienced striker. For so long it's been, when we brought Cavani in, we did have Greenwood, but that went horribly wrong for a multitude of reasons. I hoped we'd bring in a younger striker, and we just never did. When we had Ronaldo, I hoped we'd bring in a younger striker, and we never did. When we had a Garlo, I hoped he'd bring in a younger striker, and we never did. It was always just, I hope Rashford will learn off him, I hope Martial will learn off him. But it just never worked. And now we've got that younger striker, you bring in an older striker, I don't know who you'd bring in. They don't have to necessarily be in their late 30s, but towards 30s. There was rumours of us bringing Griezmann in. I think the problem with them bringing Griezmann in is he's going to play every game, and take away Højlund's playing time, and he's going to be on a lot of money and demanding a lot of game time, and you can't do that. You could bring in someone like Arnautovic, but he's not good enough. You could, I don't know, but you'd have to. I would like an older, more experienced striker to come in for half a season and a half till the end of next season, just so we're not overplaying Højlund. I think the risk we're putting now is he's only 20. You play him every game, he's going to burn out, and that's all that's going to happen. And you can't put that much pressure on him. You just can't. But that's what we're doing, putting too much pressure on the lad, and demanding too much of him. There needs to be change, club wide. I think we need to have some long hard sit downs with some players and just say you are not good enough. McTominay, you are not good enough. He's done the right thing to drop him from the squad. I wouldn't be surprised if he played against Wigan. I wouldn't be annoyed, to be fair, because Wigan are going to lump it forward and McTominay is tall and will be able to deal with it. But he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be at the club. Maguire shouldn't be at the club. Lindelof for his own career shouldn't be at the club. Wan-Bissaka shouldn't be at the club anymore. Rashford, for his own sake, needs to move on. Anthony should have never been bought. Let's be honest, Mount should have never been bought. We should have kept Hayes and maybe scouted Onana for a year. There's such a shambles. I think a lot of it comes down to Ten Hag as well. And some of that might be his backroom staff. You've got to have conversations with his backroom staff about it. Is Steve McCarron the right man? Is Michel van der Gaal a good man? The right man, sorry for him. Is Darren Fletcher the right man? Is it Darren Fletcher who's still at the club? Yeah, is Darren Fletcher the right man still at the club? You know, there's a lot of people still at the club that are they the right people to have about? We need a footballing director in charge. We need better scouts. We need a better transfer system because, you know, with Amrabat, we had that deal locked in for 25 mil. They backed away, then they went back in and went, oh, sorry, you can only have him on loan. Rasmus, we had a deal in place for, I think, 50 and it ended up being to 70 because we took too long with it. With Sancho, we could have had him for 70. They said no, then we ended up paying 100 for him next summer. Anthony could have been 40, we ended up paying 80. Mount could have been 50, we ended up paying 65. Malacia was 12 and I think that's a bargain for what he is. Which I think now. Onana was always going to be 50 because he was just coming back off the Champions League final. Bayindir we got for cheap. Evans was free. But even like Maguire, we could have had him for 50, but we took too long. Even with like De Jong and that, we had deals in place and they stalled and they said, how about this, and they're saying, no, we want this. Or the City would have gone to Chelsea in this window. Mateo Kovacic. How much? 35 million. Okay, deal done. We'll pay it. That's because they've got a lot of money, yes. But it's because they don't mess about with transfer negotiations. So they spend a long time targeting the player they want and then they go for Haaland. Hello Dortmund, how much do you want for him? 70 million? Okay, that was his release clause, but I don't think they paid more. You go to, I can't remember where they signed Doku from, some Belgian team, I think it was now. How much do you want for him? You want this much? Okay, yeah. Alvarez, even Chelsea, they go to their clubs. Well, Chelsea are different, they just do what they want. Liverpool, go to Leipzig. How much do you want for Szoboszlai? This much? Okay. How much do you want for Endo? This much. Okay. How much do you want for Gramovich? This much. Okay. How much do you want for McAllister? This much. Okay. They just do it. They don't spend weeks and weeks and weeks on transfers. They move quick. For lower league clubs and lower sides, you've got to take time with transfers because you've got very limited funds. But for a club of our size and expenditure, you target a player for a long time. When it comes to the actual negotiation, do you want to come to the club? How much? Okay. How much do you want? Okay. How much does the club want? They want this much. Give it, and do it. Whereas we go, okay, so you want 70 million for him, and you want 400 grand a week, or well, no, quite often it works out. You want 60 million for him, and you want 100 grand a week. Okay. How about 40 million, and we'll give you the 100 grand a week? No, we want the 60. Okay, we'll pay the 60, but you're now pissed off because we've taken so long, so we're now going to have to give you double. Which then becomes, that player becomes shit because they've got a massive price tag on their head that wasn't deserved, or they'd now charged 80 million when it was 60 originally because we fucked around and that other club haven't got a chance to get someone else in. We're now paying 20 million more. They've now got the price tag on their head. They don't perform well. We charge them, but they're on 200 grand a week for a shit player, and that's all we do. I despair with this club. I despair. But yeah, that's all I've got to say really, so I'm going to turn off the live stream because I feel like I'm ranting and repeating. And I've got it all out now. It's taken me 45 minutes, but I've calmed down. I'm still not happy, but I've calmed down a lot with the result. It's a bit mucky. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to change. There's a lot that won't change. Tanahan's very stuck in his ways. The players are very stuck in their ways of, I'm on 200 grand a week, so why should I bother? I'm not going to get dropped because there's nobody else. You don't have enough quality depth to be able to replace them. So yeah, enjoy. Where am I going? When's our next game? When's the next big game? I'll have a look at the next game.